Rob from Team Overland here in the next part of our series of all the gear and such that I carry in the Jeep with me for trips. Next is we're going to be going over recovery gear. There's I'm going to have at this part here, and then we're going to move into the garage to go over some of the stuff that is permanently mounted or usually permanently mounted to the Jeep and just not big and a little too big to bring into the studio here. So first, it's nice. There's multiple ways of having recovery gear in your vehicle. For me, my opinion is that you have it in a extremely accessible part of the vehicle where easy to get to, but secure, so it doesn't go flying around. And you want to be able to grab it easy and easy to take it from, because you might not just be recovering your vehicle. You might have to go recover someone else's vehicle. So for me, I like to use the front runner ammo cases for a lot of stuff, but for my recovery gear, I like this because this is a nice heavy duty recovery bag that I can put on my shoulder, put across my body if I have to go a far distance carry, because it is fairly heavy. It's about I'd say maybe a little over 20 pounds with everything in here, but it works. Nice orange with reflective, so if it's dark out, you can, with reflective tape you'll be able to see it, and it's not black where you lose it in the mud and in the woods. So one thing with recovery gear is, like I've said in past videos, is you can have all the gear you have. You can have the best gear in the world, everything that you need to do. But if you don't know how to use it, if your brain doesn't know how to use it, it's useless. It's useless equipment. When it comes to some of this stuff, if you don't know how to properly use a winch, you don't know how to properly use a tow strap, even though they're simple stuff, if you improperly put them together, you tie a knot in them or you splice them if they break, that stuff can do a lot of damage very quickly and has potential to kill somebody. If a steel winch line were to break and you're standing in front of it or over it or whatnot, it has the effect of a knife, hot knife through butter, and it can do a lot of damage to the human body. So, and always buy proper gear. You can go on Amazon. You can go to your local your auto shop, and you can buy a tow strap for $10. Will it work? Yeah. Does it say it's rated to 50,000 pounds, 20,000 pounds, X amount of pounds? Yes. But you don't know where it was made. You don't know the quality workmanship of whatever brand is on there. So when it comes to this stuff, and like with first aid kit, you don't need to spend the most amount of money, but don't buy the cheapest stuff. I like to buy from reputable brands. Warren or ARB, I believe, is everything that's in this case. Those are well-known brands that have been tested by professionals and used all over the world by many people. You can go buy a metal shackle that says that it's rated to 20,000 pounds, but if it's using bad metals and whatnot, it could have the potential to crack. For example, Factor 55, who I'm not sponsored by, all this gear that I have in this video, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I've paid retail price for them. Factor 55 in there, when you buy their gear, will show you testing of that equipment before it breaks. So if it's rated to 20,000 pounds, they're going to test it, and you're going to see the data card. So they just stand behind their product. So ARB, Warren, Factor 55, those are some of the better, those are the companies that I would recommend. So first thing that I have in here is I have a whole bunch of metal shackles. When I bought all this gear, the new synthetic line winches, shackles were fairly new to the market. Hadn't really been time tested. So I have 5 shackles here that I have. One thing that I was taught by Chris Wood at AEV when I took one of his courses out in Oregon was, if you're recovering your vehicle or you're recovering your friend's vehicle or someone else's vehicle, use your equipment. That's why I said that this is a nice bag, because I have to recover someone else. If I'm going to be using them and they're asking for my help, I'm going to use my equipment because I know that it's safe and secure, and I know it's mine, so I trust it. I could go grab someone's winch line or someone's tow strap, and if it kills me or kills someone else, I don't want any liability because I don't know, how it was stored or if it was the cheapest one that they bought that time. So all my shackles are worn that I bought, metal shackles. So eventually, sometime I'll go to the synthetic line shackles because these do add a lot of weight. They're a pound or two each. And like I said, I have 5 here. Do I need 5? Probably not, but I'd rather have one too many than one too less. So if I had to attach a tow strap, I have one for my vehicle, one for the other vehicle. If I need to run off of a winch off of a tree or a tree strap to run stuff through, block tackle, I can attach all that type of stuff. Then when I open this up, I have a bunch of gloves here. I just have various leather gloves over the years. In case a set gets lost, gets wet, they don't take up much space at all. And when you open it up, I have, first thing I have in here is just a regular SOG axe, in case I have to hammer a couple, cut a limb down or whatnot. It's real easy to get to. And I also have a foldable saw. So in case for whatever reason. The reason why I used to carry these in with my toolbox, and when we did the Pennsylvania BDR, went down a trail, and we had to, there were a bunch of overgrown trees, so we had to trim a couple of the branches down. I had to pull some of the gear out of my Jeep, get to my toolbox, which is on the bottom back of the way I have it set up in Jeep, the bottom back, 'cause it's the heaviest. And so it took a little bit of time, so I decided that because this is right at the back side of my Jeep, the first thing you see when you open up the tailgate, I'm going to put these 2 pieces of equipment in here. I just have some worn straps when I had a hook on my Jeep. I'm at the Factory 55. Next is I have the worn winch dampener. This is very important. Do you need to carry this? No, you can use a jacket. You could use sweatshirt or whatnot. But you want to go when you have your winch line between you and another vehicle, or between the 2 vehicles or the tree or whatnot. You want halfway through, you want to put something on there to dampen the line in the event that it were to break. So you just, if that line were to break, you have weight there, it'll hopefully pull the line downwards and would do less damage. Like I said, this came with this is one of the parts I came with. Unfortunately, it's black, so if it ends up in the mud, it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but it has some reflective straps on there. And in the front pocket, I also carry 2 basic books, in case I'm in the field and you need to, you're not sure on something, you can look them up. One is the Factor 55 Basic Guide to Winching, and the next is the Worn Winch Line book. So, if we're talking over the campfire or whatnot, hopefully you don't need to use these, as you're using it. You should know the knowledge before you get there. But it's better to have them with me in the Jeep than at home on my bookshelf. So next we're getting into the tow lines. Now when I got my Jeep Wrangler, it's the Recon Edition. So it came with a worn recovery kit. It came with a nice pair of I think one of these gloves is a set of the ones it came with. It also came with a shackle, and it came with a worn Jeep tow strap. So this is a real nice tow strap. It's rated. It has a dampener on it. It's let's see, what's it? I don't know what it's. I don't know what poundage it's weighted to, but it's enough for a Jeep. Now here is my worn snatch block. This is why I carry extra shackles with me, because if I need extra leverage or whatnot, attach this to a tree to get the line, the straight line or whatnot, or attach it to a Jeep, then bring the winch back to my Jeep. Now I'm going to need 2 or 3 shackles to do this. So this is a 20,000 pound snatch block. So that's what I have with me. Now in here, this is all my kit for my winch. So I have a wired winch. So I have a wired controller. So I keep my controller in here. I have an extra pair of gloves. Now one thing that came with my winch when I bought it from OK 4-Wheel Drive is that they have a bracket and a switch that is mounted on the fender inside my engine compartment, and comes with a hella key. And what this does is, so when this key is not in, there's no power going to my winch. So if I were to be in an accident on the road and the wires get cut or whatnot, I don't have the full voltage of the battery exposed to the elements, to first responders or to the other vehicle or whatnot. So then when I go off-roading, first thing I have to do when I'm airing down my tires, I will insert the key, then close the hood, and it stays in there in a locked position. And I have multiple of these keys around the Jeep. I think I have one in here, one in my toolbox, and then one in the glove box of the Jeep. I just have it in a nice little bag. And the last piece I have here is a ARB tree saver. These are really great to have. Being out in the elements, being out in nature, we also want to explore nature, but we also want to save nature. So if you take a winch line or a recovery strap and you just tie it around the bark of a tree and you start pulling the bark of the tree off, the bark of a tree is the skin of the tree. So you're starting to slowly kill the tree. So the way these tree savers work, it's a thicker line, and it takes the weight and it expands it over the course of the strap. You wrap it around one time, two times, depending on how big the tree is and what you're recovering, and it just saves the environment, saves the tree. This is what I have. This is my recovery gear. I've been very happy with it. Haven't really had to use a lot of it over the years. We've been very lucky. We haven't had much recoveries. We're going to move out into the garage and go over what else I have that is the recovery gear that's on the Jeep, and we'll finish the video out there. So let's go outside. Guys, we're out here in the garage now with the Jeep to go over the last of the recovery gear that I have on me on the Jeep at all times. So in the wintertime here, I now carry my Max Tracks with me all the time. Last winter was the first winter I bought these, and for security reasons I couldn't leave them on the Jeep at all times, because they worked really good, is these rope straps that would just they have a little bit of an alligator clip. I string them across, but if someone wanted to grab them, they just had to unlock these. Also, these are really good. They're nice, strong straps. I just didn't trust these on the highway. So when I was driving out to Moab for Easter Jeep Safari in 2019, I kept them in the back of the Jeep because I just didn't trust these straps. And when I went on longer trips on the interstates, I've never heard of anyone having a problem, but I just didn't want to be that person. Plus, I really didn't need them on the interstate. So this year, when I was heading out to Colorado, space was a premium in the back. Plus, I was going to be gone for quite a while and transiting a bunch of different places. Didn't want them to run off, so I bought the GP Factor spare tire kit. Works really well. Has a nice padlock here, so I can padlock it closed, so no one can get off to them. When I hit the trails, I'll take the padlock off, just because I might need them, and one less thing I have to do. But these straps worked really well. I used them for about a year. So, but for now, these are where my Max Tracks always are. It's nice, easy. You spin them off and you throw them. Now, I don't have it on now because I'm not on a trip yet, but I will be mounting my Blue Ridge Overland Gear trash bag to this. Their strap system doesn't really work well with these Max Tracks. It's too wide for that bag. So what I did buy is I bought a set of cam straps that are going to go around the 3 attach points here, and I'm just going to attach the bag to the 3 handles. So if I do need to use the Max Tracks, I got to take the bag off. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but it's what works right now. Next, we're going to move to the front of the vehicle to look at the rest of the recovery equipment with my winch. All right, guys, here we're in the engine compartment. Start off where my winch is. Here is the bracket that OK Four-Wheel Drive made for the winch. So right now, I have the hella key in, and it's in the on position. It's locked in there. It's a little bit of a pressure. You have to push it down to get over, so it's locked in there. I haven't had any problems with it off. So what this does is the positive winch cable comes into this switch, and then from the switch, it goes to the battery. So now my winch has electrical power. When I take the key out, there is no electrical power going to the winch. I really like this design. It's a nice safety feature for when when it's daily driving or I'm on the interstate and I end up in a front end collision, first responders and the accident isn't getting all the voltage of the battery. Just a nice little safety feature. You just have to remember to put this key in when you're on before you hit the trails. So usually before I hit the trails, while I'm airing down my tires, while they're airing down, I'll throw this key in real quickly. Really, really, really great feature that OK Four-Wheel Drive sells with their winches. All right, guys, we're here at the front of the vehicle with the last of my recovery gear that's obviously permanently mounted to the Jeep. Is my Warn Xeon 10S winch. Went with Warn, great name, and went with the synthetic line just for safety over the steel cable. And works out great, fits pretty well with the AEV bumper. The AEV bumper was designed for a different Warn winch, so I did have to do a little bit of trimming of my brackets here that the lights are on, and it just feels like the winch line just hits the front of the front of the bumper a little too tight, but that's just how it is. Two things that I've had to replace since I have it, because we live in Northeast Ohio and we can't have any nice things, is the Warn Haas Fairlead. It was a chrome one. After one winter, it was completely destroyed, so I just went with this matte black one from Warn. Bought it off of a friend of mine. The other problem was that the steel Warn hook only lasted a winter as well, so I upgraded to the Factor 55 flat link. Really like this closed loop system, a little bit more secure than a hook, less failure pieces. Came with a nice rope guard, so for the winters, that keeps the connections and all this type of stuff a little bit more protected from the salt and road crud. Awesome winch. Have not had to use it yet, knock on wood. Probably gonna have to use it probably this winter. We're heading out to either Kentucky and Allegheny National Forest in the wintertime, so might get a little snowy, end up in a ditch or something like that. But it's a really great safety thing to have. I went for a long time without it on my old Jeep, and it was always a thought process in the back. I was always with someone who had a winch, so I had they'd have to help me, but it was always in the back of my mind that I didn't have a winch. There was one trail that I couldn't do. I wasn't locked, but because I didn't have a winch, we decided not to do it. Rose Garden Hill in Moab. So really, this was the first big purchase I bought when I bought my 2018 JKU. So, but anyway, this is the Warn winch. Super happy with it, and couldn't be. I'd always support a nice local U.S. company made in the USA and whatnot. So this is the last of the recovery part, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We got a bunch more videos in the series to drop in the next couple weeks, so make sure to look forward to them. Have a great one.